Hello, this is Tamara Hyatt with PracticeAdmin. I'd like to welcome Diana Campbell, who will be conducting a software demo today of our PracticeAdmin technology. Diana, are you with us?
Yes, thank you, Tamara.
Hey, why don't you dive in and show us how it works, and I will be recording this so we can make this available on our website as well.
All right, perfect. All right, first we're going to start off with our schedule manager. So this is where you go and schedule any patient appointments. And this is what a one provider, one day looks of the schedule. You can do a week view, multiple provider views, but we're just going to go back to just a one day, one provider view of the schedule. And I have multiple appointments scheduled already. These colors that you're seeing, they're driven by the type of appointment. If I hover over these appointments, that's where I can see the appointment details. So at first glance, we just see the patient's last names and what they're coming in for. If you hover over it, that's where you can see their balance, phone number details, insurance, the eligibility results. You can run eligibility in here. So real quick, I'll just show how easy it is to schedule and reschedule an appointment. So let's say that I have a patient who's going to come in let's say they're coming in tomorrow. So I'm going to jump over to tomorrow on the calendar, and let's say they're going to come in at 11 o'clock tomorrow. So I'm just going to double click on that 11 o'clock time slot, and then here's my appointment window. Let's say this is an existing patient. So I'm going to look up my patient, George Tabor. Here's a pop-up note on his account. I'm going to click OK. Those pop-up notes will pop up if you're scheduling an appointment, entering a charge, or posting a payment. So I'm going to choose the reason that he's coming in, and you're going to customize this list of all your different appointment types. I'm going to say he's coming in for a follow-up, and it's that easy. I'm going to hit Save and Close. So it's that easy to schedule an appointment. So here we have it here. I hover over it. I can see all the details. Now let's say he changes his mind. Let's say he wants to come in later on that day. So I'm just going to right-click over it to reschedule. Click Reschedule. Let's say he wants to come in at 2. I'm going to right-click at 2 o'clock, move it here. This is just confirming my action, so I'm going to say yes. And it's that easy to reschedule the appointment. I can set up recall appointments in here. I can do reoccurring appointments. You can also run safety net reports in here to make sure you build out all your charges. Basically, it'll look through all the patients that came in that day at their appointments, see if there's a charge in the system for that data service, and if not, it'll report that patient back to you on the report. And that way you can make sure you build out all your appointments. And that's just a quick, brief overview of our schedule manager. So now I want to move on to our billing manager. It's a separate window. So here's my billing manager window. And I have multiple windows launched. You can have multiple windows launched for the same practice or for different practices if you have multiple practices that you manage. And this is what we call the Today screen. And this is a dashboard of all my outstanding claims. So once a claim is paid off in full or adjusted off in full, it'll remove itself from this Today screen. So these are only outstanding claims. And I can double click on these buckets. And those claims will appear here off to the right. So all of them you can double click on. You even have an EDI rejections bucket right here. All your EDI file confirmations will appear in this Today screen also for you to work your rejections. And as I work this rejection, it'll remove itself from that bucket after I've worked it, because it's the to be worked rejection. And then all my claims that have imported over from my clinical side will show up in this EHR import bucket. Instead of me having to manually enter my claims, I'm just going to manually review them and release them out to go out and queue to the insurance company. So that EHR import bucket, that's just a hold bucket. So I went ahead and I clicked on this first patient, Lisa Baroni. As you can see, it rerouted us from this Today tab into this Claim General tab. And this is where I actually have the claim pulled up in front of me. And then as you can see, you can actually make changes. So the whole idea is the work is done for you, but you can come in here and manipulate any of these fields. So here's the facility that services are rendered out of, the provider who rendered service. This is who we're billing it out to. I'm going to come over to this next tab. So here's my claim lines. And then I just hit a hotkey, and that hotkey will throw this claim into a bucket in my Today screen called Awaiting EDI Submission, right here. And that's your electronic claims queue bucket. Every night after midnight Eastern time, the system will transmit whatever claims are sitting in this bucket for you. So you don't need to manually transmit your claims. Now let's talk about payments. So we can accept electronic remits and the system will auto-post those payments. So let me show you what those look like in our system. We call them ERAs. And when they upload, they go into a posted pending review status. So these are going to upload in an overnight job, and they're going to auto-post to the patient's accounts, but all these are the ones that I haven't taken a look at yet. And they're in a pending review status, which means they're posted, but they say pending next to the payment. That's just to show me that the payment's here, but I haven't taken a look at it yet to save it. So I'm just going to click on one of these. And they're color-coded to help you understand what's going on. They're green, yellow, red, orange, and all those colors mean something. So here's an example of a green one. Green is good. Every green box is an example of a posted transaction. So the allowed amount, the co-insurance, the adjustment amount, the payment amount. And I just hit Edit, Save, and I go on to my next one. So it's that easy to work the electronic remits in our system. And the last module I want to go over is our reporting module. So I'm going to come over here to Reports. These are all the reports that we have in here. We have between about 100 or 150 different reports. We have several versions of the same report, and then you have filter options for each report. You can export all of our reports in Excel and rearrange them and combine them in Excel. So with all those tools, usually what you're looking for, you're going to find. However, if you need a really specific report, we do custom reports all the time. Whatever you enter in the system, we can retrieve out for you. Reports are not an issue for us. I'm going to click on a couple reports to show you an example. The first one I'm going to click on is this unpaid claims report. This is a good report to run to follow up on claim status. I can say I want to review claims that were billed 30 days ago. It pretty much gives me everything I need in order to obtain claim status. I can export this to Excel and work off of it in the Excel spreadsheet, especially if I have dual monitors. Another really good report is this ATB by category report. This shows the AR broken down by payer. A good, just simple summary month-end report is this charges, payments, and adjustments by month. This will give me my total charges and my total insurance and patient payments and my total adjustments for that month, or whatever time period I put up here that I run it for. And then the last report I'm going to show is called a performance summary report. And this is actually a report you want to run like a quarterly basis, maybe a yearly basis, and it kind of just gives you an overview of the practice in a whole. This gives you a lot of charts and graphs for you to kind of see where your AR is. You can kind of see right here your charges, payments, and adjustments by month and how those numbers have increased or decreased over the months. Your total AR by month, and then your average days it's taken to collect money by month. And that is just a brief overview of PracticeAdmin Schedule Manager and Billing Manager. If anybody has any questions or wants further information, please feel free to contact us at PracticeAdmin. Thank you.